Navigate.
Oh, that
Yes.
yes.
Under
Which
night.
means if an NPC
night
has to
moves.
make a roll, it means that the GM just makes horrible things happen.
Choose two consequences.
Well, let's take marked.
Yeah, and
And the damage to the
Plain and-
target is not sufficient, and it is your fault.
I would.
That's
I would
super bad
probably
because that means mission
fly.
is failure.
Yeah, no, I would probably fly through a storm of flak to get to my target rather than that
So-
for the glory
So
of Mother
you're gonna make me roll enemy fire. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
I have 0 luck on that, so
I would remind you that we have an ace mechanic back at the base.
yeah. But he also has to land the plane, and I don't want any deja vu happening on my character dying
Fair enough.
because I will die if she crashes that plane. So
Well, if I'm in the plane and I'm like, target is right through storm of flak. It's going to be problem, but I think I can make it for Mother Russia. And then I would definitely just
So Storm of
Dive in
Flak,
to make
trigger
sure.
enemy fire. What's the second one?
marked.
and we're marked.
Okay. Does anyone want to Vetemaya any of those consequences?
Keeping in mind, if you vet on my, because you have NPCs in your thing, you're gonna kill them.
No, probably worse than that because we can't roll for enemy fire.
But you could take the marked one.
We could take the marked one. Yes.
Yep.
Totally do that.
Well,
Okay.
here's what I
Liliana,
suggest.
you're taking the mark?
Out of curiosity, would it count as saving someone's life if I took that storm of flak?
Yeah, I'll give it.
Okay. I will Vetemaya that storm of flak, and hopefully not completely explode.
So does your NPC have to roll that then? Is that what
Yep.
happens? Oh god. Well,
Oh, that's right. I can't roll that. I'm gonna.
Sure you want to do it then?
No, I don't really want to do that.
Okay. Ileana, you were going to take the mark?
I can. Let's see. If I take the mark, then Mishka's automatically dead, and that's the one person we like pronouncing. I'm just.
I like how that's the reason you keep her around. Because we can pronounce names.
Tiana, you can take the mark, and then Zobov will die as well if you wanted that to happen.
Even better, can't you deflect that mark now onto somebody else like a dick?
I can.
I think you should totally deflect it onto what's his name, the commanding officer.
No, you has to be another character.
It has to be another player character, sadly. Otherwise, I'd stack it on Zubov, who already has one.
So not only would you kill an NPC, you would also mark it on someone else who could have just took it anyway. That seems like the world's most tickish move ever. Just gonna put that out there right now. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, are you guys okay with taking the mark?
yeah,
otherwise-
here's what you do: just don't do anything and let us fucking deal with it. Because apparently, no one else can deal with flak at all aside from me.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
yeah. So in retrospect, I should have put Ileana in the navigator seat. So
Yeah,
sorry about that. But oh well.
Just let me do that next time.
I didn't expect you to take enemy fire. That's like
Yeah, no,
something
it's
completely
it's
ill-prepared
really
to do.
silly. But you know what? You know, if I'm
But
gonna
it's a
die, I
pilot.
might as well
It
die
is-
on my own roll this time. You know what I'm
It is the
saying?
pilot's
Which
choice.
brings me back.
There you go.
Are you Vetemying the mark?
They're not. No, there's no point.
So the two of you are marked then, Sarah and Seraphima.
Yeah.
Okay, so pick which marks you guys would like to take.
Oh god, what's a good one?
And
these are
they
listed
don't have
on-
to be now, but they have to be shortly. You have like a cutscene or a flashback of them. Or it could be now if it's someone dies as a result of it.
Where are
Because,
these?
they're on the
handout?
second page of your
Of my
sheet.
fiction.
The marks are on the right-hand side. If you choose Embrace Death, you die. So probably should not pick that one this early. You really want to.
Publicly shame a comrade, and it's going to be Seraphima for fucking
You gonna do it during
deciding
the
on her
debrief?
own that she was gonna drive us into fucking flak.
Well, we can do that mark during the debrief then.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Sure.
Seraphina, which one would you like to pick?
Oh gosh, these are great.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to take and inform the authorities. That's what I'm taking.
Okay. I'd like to say you ain't no stool pigeon, but you actually are.
Let's see here. I think I'll tell a story of home.
It's like as you're flying through the fucking...
Well,
Yeah.
again, it can be
No, I can do it later,
back.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You just have to
fine.
do it at some point. All right.
Here we
cool.
go. Let's roll luck. It's probably going to suck.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Okay, this is super bad. All right.
Yeah,
so
this
are
is why
putting
you
the
don't
motion
do
pool
it.
towards it.
Arthur, I believe that I can Vetemaya something from the enemy fire category. Assuming you
Okay.
don't come up with something more horrific.
Let me check. Vetemaya specifically says
I can absorb a consequence, which enemy fire has a whole bunch of consequences.
it says anyone who hasn't been assigned a primary and Vetemaya triggering Vetemaya is optional. To help another Vetemaya aircraft after Vetemaya. Hold one. Suffer consequence. Yes, you can spend that hold and eat one of the things instead.
So this ultimately depends on what Dave decides he wants. Well,
Actually,
actually, it's
I
your
picked
choice.
them.
It's your
Oh.
choice.
I
yeah.
get to
Yeah,
pick
yeah,
the three.
So
Yeah, the natural ones.
Or one that's a lot better. A lot more horrific.
All right. Here's what happens. Your plane is damaged. Lead aircraft 187. You're gonna have to make a wheels down move later.
I can see it happening all over again.
So you're going through the flak. You trigger
There's
enemy
no
fire.
problem.
You drop the bombs correctly, but then a flak takes off one of your wings, and you're like, shit. Consequence 2. There's casualty on board. Split 5 harm between the two of you.
I'm dead. Straight up.
oh
There's
no,
no
you're
other way of
not.
doing
You have a protector in your group with Vetemaya.
So
You're gonna take that. You're gonna eat it.
I will eat the casualties on board.
Okay. How does this happen? How do you bravely take the harm for them?
I actually, as I see the anti-aircraft guns lining up underneath, and I do kind of an inverted flyby right, like underneath, and the flak like actually impacts into the plane. Unfortunately, all of it hits my co-pilot.
Unfortunately.
So
For him, yes.
You have so you
Thanks.
can only absorb 4 harm, so you
yeah,
still are gonna take
I'm still
one.
gonna take. So maybe some of the entrails from Zubov.
No, here's what happens. You're flying through the area, and
Yep.
there's like a wet splatter on the back of your neck and like a hot piece of shrapnel, and when you turn around, there is no co-pilot seat.
Yeah.
Like, the chair is gone, there's a hole in the bottom of the aircraft where her seat was.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And third consequence, you're marked.
Another mark.
Yep.
I'm publicly shaming. Straight up. Straight up. Publicly shaming.
And Serafina, you have to take a mark as well.
Another mark.
Yep.
Okay.
So I would also point out that Ilyana can absorb one of these if Ilyana wants to.
Okay, I'll take them. I'll take the marks now.
Okay.
We'll lose
Well,
Mishka. Can we get her twin sister who's also named Mishka?
Why would your twin sister have the same name as you?
Her parents just want to
recognize it.
screw with everyone.
I'll take these marks and we'll find another Russian name that's easy to pronounce. Okay.
Rob.
How does that sound?
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds sexy in Russian to me.
So you guys are returning to base, right? You've gone through this herring. One of the aircrafts is damaged. And then out of nowhere, you hear the distinct sound of an FW-190.
FW-190?
Yep.
Okay.
And the Voker comes out of the sky. Ilyana, your plane takes fire. It, like, flashes over you. And when you look back, Mishka is full of holes. And the aircraft zooms around you real quick. You can see that the end of the tail has some yellow markings. and the pilot gives you the finger and then does a dive back
Flips
towards
the
the
bird.
surface.
Yeah.
As the 2/18th, as Major Popov's craft start chasing it.
That's awfully rude.
Okay, so I need wheels down rolls from the pilots of 187 and 47, as one is damaged and the other has no.
Seraphima.
So Ileana took a mark, not damage. I don't think.
No, but
But Mishka's dead, and if you have
Mishka's
no-
dead, but okay.
Yeah, if you're missing someone in the aircraft.
Oh, that's true, and
So-
and I think that means for Tatiana as well.
So
I can just
yep.
roll.
Yeah, all three of you need to wheels down. Good
Okay.
point.
So I can just do this. Does this work?
What are you doing?
What am I rolling with?
It's
What?
wheels down, so you
The
are
pilot
rolling
rolls
with
skill.
That's-
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You didn't kill
land
us.
that fucking
Congratulations.
Yay!
That's a first.
So
I didn't
I mean,
die.
all in all, a pretty good run.
No.
That was a terrible one. But okay, let's try and roll.
Look, we killed killed the Germans.
All right, Ileana, you go next. Remember, you still
Nope.
have one mission pool. Oh shit!
Nope.
Okay, you get in a fiery wreck. You take 3 harm.
Yep.
You know what?
We have 2 planes. Awesome.
I can just imagine.
I don't think you're gonna take. Yeah, you're gonna take the 3 harm because you got nothing else. Yeah.
I imagine when you
crash the plane, it is a fiery wreck. So yeah, it's gone. Number 47 is dead.
Well, maybe when you're coming down, it like goes and it stops
Yeah, like
spinning, like it stalls, and you're like, thirsty. And then like all of a sudden, you get fucking flashbacks from your last fiery wreck. Am I right?
Yet
course.
again, you walk away from a fiery wreck.
Yep, with 3 harm, which means you're gonna have to go to the hospital. Which
Yeah.
means,
Yeah.
unfortunately, playing a character is gonna be super difficult unless you have some way of removing that harm. You might. We'll have to talk about it. You might have to become the GM or quickly make a new character. So think about which one of those you'd like to take.
let's see.
And we still need a roll from Tatiana because Zubov is dead.
Yep, Tatiana has 1 harm, and Zubov is dead. She is rolling skill. This is as +1 because I'm in my regarded aircraft.
Don't die, man.
Add
Don't
one to
die.
this. I don't think I can actually roll less than a 7 because
Go ahead and roll though.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, there we go. So
Okay.
that's actually 11. So I land without incident.
You
Hey.
can change your open regard. Oh, you don't have an open regard slot. It already refers to your plane. Okay.
Hang on. 3 harm is as 2 harm and unconscious, or injuries requiring hospitalization. It's just you that picks.
Okay. Yeah. So you land. You're in a fiery wreck. You're unconscious. Sure. We'll go with that.
Yay! That makes it easier.
Not
hey,
that
just-
much easier. That means that you're literally unconscious. You can't go on missions until you wake up.
Can I make a stipulation here?
Yes.
The only cow poop she missed, and her face is in it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome.
Still, I'm only going to be unconscious for a day.
But you'll still have the 2 harm when you wake up.
No.
Ow.
Flying with harm. It's a great way to get killed. Remember that last pilot who flew with harm?
I would have been fine, Arthur, if they landed the plane.
So I'm
I
reading it over here.
still-
3 harm says it requires medical care and you'll be grounded while you recover.
Oh, is it different in the...
Yeah,
I've got...
this is in the
Yeah.
actual book. Yeah, you have to spend time in the hospital. Now, you can have your commanding officer keep you here, but, you know, you take 1 harm and you die, so...
Can Ileana be grounded for a mission to remove that harm? Or is it going to take more than
It's
that?
going to take basically until you advance, I think.
Yeah.
Because these missions are nightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't, like...
You
it's
don't
not like
get out of a
train
fiery
missions.
wreck and then the next day you're like, I'm fine.
Yes.
I will. We'll do this in the debriefing. We'll
Okay,
figure it
well,
out from there.
debriefing happens now.
Okay.
Your debriefing officer is, of course, Lieutenant Sveta.
Okay.
So she comes in frowning, and she's got piles upon piles of requisition information, and she says, Lieutenant Petrovna, it's so good to see you again. I see that once again your unit comes back half dead, and the pilot is in a fiery wreck. Now, I'm looking over this paperwork here. You claimed originally that the pilot that landed the fiery wreck the first time was, in fact, not at fault, and that it was Lieutenant Sokolov. Now you are claiming it is Zubov who is dead, and the person who actually crashed the plane walked away alive. Again. Is this correct?
So, if you read my report, you will see that I made no such claim that Lieutenant Zubov, or not Lieutenant, Sergeant? Junior? Sergeant Zubov was at fault. Merely asked some questions regarding her involvement.
She slams her hand down on the table and says, This is unacceptable, Lieutenant Petrovna. Your unit is a disgrace to all women in Soviet Air Army and the entire Rodina.
I would remind
you will bring your aircraft back intact. You will bring your officers back intact. You
Lieutenant
will stop killing people, Lieutenant Petrovna.
Lieutenant Sveta, would you have preferred we returned unsuccessful? Would you have preferred that we had abandoned the mission run and
she
left
says,
the
are
Germans?
You considering treason against Soviet Union, Lieutenant?
I would rather suggest that fulfilling the mission requires risk, and you cannot expect risk, or we cannot expect reward without risk. You would have us return without a successful mission. Surely that is a question for the NKVD to address, not me.
She says, I am the NKVD.
You forget yourself.
No, I do. I remember exactly who she is. I'm pointing out that she's basically asking why we didn't abandon our mission in the face of risk. So soldiers died, but we still bombed the target, and we completed our mission. So I'm actually not even
of half of your unit in one of your planes. Yes.
Well, it was a rough mission. I'm not saying otherwise, but I'm still pointing out that it was a successful mission, even if we did take casualties.
It seems like she really cares about that. So she turns to
let me
Lieutenant
eyeball
Demidov.
the situation. Let me eyeball the situation.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
Good.
Eyeball the situation, and I get to ask 2 questions. What are the questions? Is Sveta a man or a woman?
Sveta is a woman. Your whole unit is women.
Okay. What am I overlooking?
She is definitely starting an official file on you.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been building it for quite a while since Engels, and it looks like she's definitely about to dive on Serafina and get her to rat you out.
Okay. How can I get her to drop her investigation against me?
That's a great question. Lieutenant Sveta likes 2 things in this world: milk chocolate and finding traitors to the Soviet Union who have performed Section 58s.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to not be thrown under the bus, you got to throw somebody else in front of you.
Okay.
So she turns to Junior Lieutenant Demidov and says, Junior Lieutenant Demidov, I understand that you heroically led the bombing run and were successful. How would you rate the performance of Lieutenant Petrovna? And please, feel free to speak freely.
And I like to
Can't she
turn
even speak?
and look at Petrovna. Yeah, wait, how much?
Petrovna would nod and give you the okay to go ahead and speak your mind.
You're like,
As far as Petrovna is concerned, it was a successful run, even if there were casualties. Like, at this point, she's no stranger to death in her unit.
and I'd say, she was foolish. I had everything under control. She swoops underneath my plane, takes extra flak damage to 2 planes rather than just 1. He's like mother trying to protect baby and smothers with pillow.
So are
In
you
the background.
shit-talking his character?
Yeah.
Did you take that move?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're a zealot as well, so you're criticizing a fellow airwoman. So you've now.
Wait, how did you do that? I thought you leveled up rather than taking a move.
Don't I? Oh, do I not get a move if I?
No. You either pick a move or you level up.
Okay.
So did you not take the move? You did take the level up.
Yeah. Oh no, I actually haven't marked my thing yet. I didn't take the.
But you got promoted in before.
Yeah, you got promoted for that mission.
So then I should be adding one
So-
to.
Yeah,
something.
run to your rank or whatever.
Yeah, that's where you put it into. Well, you
What
don't
did you
get
add
shit
to
talking,
your
but
rank?
you do get your zealot mission pool.
Out of curiosity, what did you add to your what point did you add?
What, my attribute?
Yeah,
I think I'm just gonna add one to luck.
luck. Okay. Completely irrelevant for the last mission then.
So, as a zealot, you criticized a fellow airwoman, so you add one to your mission pool for the next night. Congratulations. You
Oh, is
sold
that what
out
that
your
does?
officer. She says, "Oh, this is interesting. Sounds like Lieutenant Petrova not quite as competent as she thinks she is." And she goes to stand over Junior Lieutenant Rabinovich and says, "Sarah Rabinovich, that is a Jewish name, yes?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being a Jew in this unit, as long as you are not practicing your filthy religion, which, I will remind you, is against the scientific doctrines of the Soviet Union. You're not a little practicing Jew, are you?"
I wouldn't even know where to start with the religion.
That's such good news. And she's like doing the thing with your cheeks. It's like an older aunt might, even though
Yeah.
she only appears to be like 3 or 4 years older than you.
Yeah.
She says, "Oh, my good Junior Lieutenant Rabinovich, do you have anything to comment about on Lieutenant Petrovna?"
And I'm glaring at Sarah.
Do you have anything to add about Lieutenant Petrovna's actions tonight?
Not Petrovna, no.
Oh, you have someone else. Okay. Why don't you tell me about it? Do you want to step into my office? We can speak privately.
Yeah, please.
All right. So she takes you into her office and she says, "What do you need to tell me?"
I like look up at her and I drop the act like straight away, just like, and I'm like, I pull out my little notepad and I flick through and I'm like, where to start? Where to start?
You seem much more prepared for this meeting than I anticipated, Sarah.
Oh, taking notes is my hobby.
I think
And
you
then
will
I,
go far in this unit.
I like smirk up at her and I'm just like, that's my intention, yes. First thing I do is I tell her, I recount the story about how Seraphima decided against my suggestion as her navigator to fly in recklessly and take on enemy fire.
Flashback is me like yelling for Mother Russia.
Yeah, it's like, and I tell her about how she's dangerous and oddly suicidal.
We have a flashback to Top Gun where Iceman's like, "You're dangerous."
I then inform her that I'm here to. My intention on joining the 588s was to investigate the death of an older sibling of mine. I refer to her as my sibling, but she's not actually my sibling. And that my main investigation is Tatiana Petrovna.
She says, "What a surprise. My main investigation is also Tatiana Petrovna." She, like, wraps her arms around you and is like, "We will go very far together, you and I. After my little Zubov's death, I'm going to need a new informant, and I think you will do just fine, Junior Lieutenant."
Thank you, sir.
So we still need to resolve a couple marks.
Yep.
I think, Seraphima, you were marked. Which ones did you take?
So I was going to tell a story of home.
Okay. Who would you like to tell it to?
You don't have anyone left to tell it to.
No.
You
Zubov's
tell me
dead.
while I'm lying there unconscious.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could be sitting
Actually,
over
that-
a hospital bed.
that's fine. Yeah, and I'm like, is harder than I thought. Being here, trying to support the war efforts, and I start talking. We could probably go to like a flashback of me back at home.
Pigtails, everything like that.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm like running down to like get like some mail, and there's like a mail from my father, and it's like military. It's like from the army. He's like an officer or something. And I run in and I wave it to my mom, and she like waves me off, like ignoring me.
Like moms
And
do.
yeah, and I get excited. I go up into my room and I start reading the letter, and then there's like banging noises downstairs and yelling. And it's like my house is being raided, and they like pull out. They have all these my mother's like sewing room. They run in and they're ripping down the walls, and there's like paperwork and like all kinds of stuff that she's been like stealing, or like just information that she's been gathering, and she was like spying on like spying for the Germans.
Oh boy.
And they drag her out of the house and like leave me like running after her, and my older brother is like pulling me back into the house.
There's some seriously sad piano music playing with like a little violin.
Yeah.
I think at the end we probably just hear a gunshot. We
Yeah.
don't see anything, we just hear a gunshot.
And it's like right as my brother's just pulled me into the house.
I imagine it's more like a Tarantino thing where like it's just like the camera is real close on your face and the gunshot goes off and it's just your reaction to it.
Yeah.
It's like all the muscles pull back.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, I think that covers some marks. Didn't Ileana take a mark?
Yep.
I think I have another one though.
I think Ileana ate that mark for you, right?
Oh.
Or is that
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah, I ate a mark, and I was actually going to tell a story of home, but I'm sadly unconscious.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I
flashback.
think you can do it. It's just we see it from your coma.
You see from my coma some of the history.
Just to deepen your audience connection, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of you have already heard some of the backstory that I come from an aristocratic family. Well, at least my father was. Although in the story, you find out that the reason I wasn't killed along with the rest of the people was that my mother rescued me. And that she wasn't actually married to the Baron who was my father. I was a bastard child, and you see, from my youth, sort of trying to fit in as he was being kept secret that as to not cause a scandal, that I was never actually a proper member of the family, never really fitting in, all that sort of thing, trying my best to be the whole aristocrat, and looking down on what I call the peasantry. Then in the end, it coming down to the people I was sort of not all trying to get away from, eventually saving me and rescuing me when the revolution happened and people stormed in, and yeah, I seem to have a story much like a sad story, much like my other pilot, and people rushing in and shooting my father and the woman who I pretended was my mother, and several others. Of course, since then I've sold out. One of the only people that managed to escape that purge, my uncle. That was last time. He managed to escape along with several others, but I have since sold him out to save myself.
Being a homosexual, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good work, man.
Yeah, but he was
all the offensive buttons tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was a real bastard. He was always, the only person who was only actually ever nice to me when I'm growing up was was my father. Everybody else was like, we know you're just a bastard. You're scum. So I kind of hated everybody. So like, first opportunity I get, we're gonna kill you, or you tell us. And I'm like, okay, my uncle's a homosexual. I hate him.
Yep,
You can
that's
find him
exactly
there.
what happened. So what's your decision here, Thor? Do you want to sideline Zerkova in the hospital and be the GM, which you don't have to do? I'm perfectly capable of continuing to GM because this is a great storyline. Or do you want to make a new character real quick, and then when we switch stations, you can bring Zerkova back out of the hospital?
I'm honestly not sure I'm good enough on the GM rules
Okay,
to
all right.
take
So we
that.
got a break coming up exactly right about now. If you want.
Yeah, I need to pee.
So let me mark down the time here and then go through the spiel thingy. All right, thanks for watching so far, guys. Part 2 will be coming up next.